Hello and welcome to Cyber Skills Live. My name's Daniel. I'm an engineer who's interested in all things tech and security. You're joining Craig and I for this very special Cyber Skills Live made in partnership with Historic Environment Scotland. Today, you're about to get a history lesson, but also you're going to learn cybersecurity skills in this interactive activity.
Yes, today you're joining us on the battlements of Stirling Castle. And we've got people joining us from all over today. Thank you for joining us. We've got groups from across Scotland, but also around the world. And you're going to have to work together to protect this iconic Scottish landmark. Our world is powered by digital technology, and we need more people who are able to protect it. Whether it's turning on the lights or exchanging messages, this all relies on keeping these things secure. So we need more people with these skills to help us protect it.
Almost half of all businesses in Scotland have identified a skills shortage in cybersecurity. So a career in cybersecurity would mean you play a key role in protecting our digital world.
We're also lucky to be joined today by Kirsten from Historic Environment Scotland. She's a learning officer and she'll be helping answer some of your questions today. Hello, Kirsten.
Hi everyone, my name's Kirsten and I'm a learning officer here at Stirling Castle. So what is cybersecurity to do with a castle like Stirling Castle? Well, in the past, the people that lived in the castle had to be protected, such as kings, queens and lords and ladies. And indeed, their possessions had to be protected too. Nowadays, we don't have to just think about the physical security of the castle. We actually have teams in Historic Environment Scotland who look after our computers and security systems. So later on, you're going to find out a bit more about what their job entails. Okay, back to Daniel and Craig.
Thanks, Kirsten. That's right. There are lots of different career options in the cybersecurity sector in Scotland. Now, technology skills are really important, they're really valuable, but it's definitely not just a career for techies. There's lots of other options too.
That's right. There's jobs in marketing, digital forensics, legal, project management as well. It really is a career option for everyone, and yeah, you could be working somewhere like this.
Today, you're going to get a flavour of what it's like to defend one of Scotland's biggest castles from a cyber attack. We're going to be working with Mary Gordon, and she's the network security architect here at Stirling Castle. And her big project at the moment is to defend and improve the security system that they've got at the castle. So as we work through the activity today, we're going to learn a bit about how castles were historically protected, but also how that relates to modern cybersecurity best practice.
The activity you're doing today is based on a real-life job role, that of a cybersecurity architect.
Oh, that's our cue. We better get to our stations. We need to go and defend Stirling Castle.
Stirling Castle, what a place to defend. What you need to do now is go to cyberskillslesson.com and follow the instructions. So click Defend Stirling Castle and click to start the activity.
So the activity that you're going to be doing today will work in any modern web browser. So make sure you open up Google Chrome or Firefox or even Edge. So you're going to be asked to choose your name and your group. Make sure you type in your first name and only your first name so we can give you a shout out today, and choose your school from the drop down list as well. And Daniel, I can see there's already loads of people taking part right now. So thank you everyone for coming along. We have people taking part from across the country as well. Daniel, I think we should give people a few shout outs to see what schools are joining at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I'll start. I can see, so when we shout out your name, make sure you give a nice loud cheer in your class so we can hear you from our digital headquarters.
So as you work through the activity, you're going to learn a bit about castle security, but you're also going to learn how that relates to modern cybersecurity best practice. It's not just Craig and I on the stream though either. We've also got Kirsten joining us, and Kirsten is a learning officer at Stirling Castle. Hi Kirsten.
Hi everybody, hi guys.
So Kirsten, we've got a couple of questions for you. So the first one is, I can tell from visiting castles that security was really important and it shaped their design. So why did they need to be secure? What were they protecting?
Yeah, absolutely. So castles indeed had lots of types of security, and really the main thing they're protecting are the people inside. So with Stirling, obviously it's a royal castle, so the kings and queens, and even actually all their staff as well. Everyone was important in the castle. And also they'd be protecting the possessions inside the castle. So if you think of the most important possessions of the past at that time, in medieval time, are the honours of Scotland, better known as the Scottish Crown Jewels. So that would be, but they're still in Edinburgh Castle today. So things like that would be protected as well.
That's great, Kirsten. Thank you very much. And we'll be referring to you for all our historical answers today. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I think we're definitely ready to move on to the sort of second phase of our fortification. So in this phase, the questions that you're going to get asked are all about the different security features that we can use to try and keep people out of the castle or keep people out of our computer network. So follow the instructions and complete the tasks. So we're going to be asking you questions about, well, how do we keep people out and how do we sort of spot intruders who have already got in?
So someone who's definitely not an intruder and who's a special guest today, it's Kirsten. Hi Kirsten, so I've got another question for you here. So did people ever try to do things like sneak past the guards and pretend to be someone else to get into the castle? What types of ways would people try and sort of sneak their way in?
Yeah, there probably are stories of people trying to sneak their way in, and that might be through being in disguise. There are stories of people being in disguise to get through the security, but there would be a list of people to be expected to the castle. So your guards at the gatehouse would know who to expect to come in and would question them, etc. So it'd be very difficult to get in.
So would it be like a list of like who they were expecting or people that they would know as well? So yeah, absolutely.
And what I would actually add myself, if I was at the castle, I've got donkeys, so I'd put some donkeys down at the main gate as well, because they're quite territorial and they'd be guarding the gatehouse as well.
So not guard dogs, but guard donkeys.
Donkeys rather than hounds of the castle. Yeah.
That's great. Thanks, Kirsten. So Daniel, how does this kind of relate then to stopping digital intruders? Like, what is there any similarities there?
Yeah, I guess there definitely is. So like Kirsten was saying earlier, sort of that these guards are kind of, they know who to expect. They've kind of they've got like a list or something of, okay, these people can come in or out. And I guess your computer networks and the apps and websites that you use are kind of the same. They check who you are, so they ask for you to basically identify yourself before letting you in. So that's your username and your password. And the idea is that password is something that only you know. Hopefully no one else knows your password. So by asking and going, okay, what's your email address? Okay, I can see your email address here. That matches up. Okay, your password? Oh, that matches up too. That's what we expect. You can come in. You can come into the website. You can use the app. And then if your email address isn't there or the password's wrong, it's like, okay, you're not who you say you are. You can't come in, you can't use it. So yeah, I guess we have a similar thing. But we also do other things to try and spot. Donkeys. Ooh.
Not so much.
I've never met a donkey yet, but that works in cybersecurity, but I don't know, maybe one day.
I don't know about that. So Daniel, you were going to say something else there about intruders and being able to spot people sneaking in, or the cyber security equivalent.
Yeah, so there's tools called Intrusion Detection system. I can see a few of you are installing one right now, and you're typing in the commands.
Harris has just installed the Intrusion Detection system.
Excellent.
And Eddie from Linwood is also setting the password for the system too.
So what the Intrusion Detection system does is it watches all of the activity on the network. So that's things like people going to different websites, or it's people sending out data, or it's people downloading files, things like that. And it goes, okay, is that normal or is that normal? So it just watches and goes, okay, so that looks okay. So for example, maybe we always do your backups on a Wednesday morning. So it will go, okay, every Wednesday morning it expects a big file to be transferred and it lets that through because that's normal. But if it spots a big file being transferred maybe on Tuesday night or something, it'll go, oh, that's not normal, that's unusual. And it will block it. And that will stop it happening. So basically it blocks strange or unusual activity. And that's something that's used on pretty much every large computer network to try and protect us, to spot the intruders and stop them being able to kind of do anything that they shouldn't.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Daniel. I just want to say a few people have sent us in their tweets. So Bradehurst High School are taking part defending Stirling Castle today. And quite a few of you are working through these activities just now. Idris, I can see that you've set the intrusion detection systems. Katie at the Bradehurst, and you just set your passwords as well. While a lot of people working through it at the moment here, Daniel, this is going really well.
Excellent work. I can see that most of you have got your intrusion detection system all installed and all set up. And it asks you towards the end, one of the last things you're asked to do is to set the strictness. And the strictness of the system is basically how sensitive it is to unusual behavior. And it dictates, is it just going to let it through? Is it going to maybe send an email? Is it going to flash up an alert in the Security Operations Center? Or is it automatically just going to block it and not let it happen? And that's what those numbers from like 1 to 5 are. You're choosing how strict, how sensitive this system is, depending on sort of how vital the data is. So in this phase, what we're going to do is we're going to learn a bit about why it's important to keep our defenses and our security up to date to keep up with the attackers. So again, what you need to do is follow the instructions and complete the tasks.
One of the most basic things that you can do that improves your cybersecurity is installing updates and making sure that your computer's up to date. And we asked you as well, we said, okay, how often do you install software updates onto your computer?
Yeah, we did. Let's take a look at these results here. So I can see here that the biggest section is the green one, and the green one, Craig, is that the apps update automatically. So almost 100 of you have your apps set to automatically update, which for me, working in cybersecurity, that's the best thing to do, because then it means you don't forget. It means they're always up to date. They're always as secure as they can be.
I want to ask Kirsten about those traps, because what can we think of castles as having like traps or things that could trick intruders. Does Stirling Castle have anything like that?
Yeah, well, there's a few things. One is actually at the gatehouse. So, like a lot of castles, Stirling would have had a double portcullis. So that's the metal gates that go up and down. So basically, if you manage to get through the first portcullis, there was a second one which would sort of trap you in that area. And above you is, of course, the building and the wall, an arched wall, and then up there could be murder holes. So murder holes. We'll talk about where they live later on, but yeah, so murder holes that they could chuck things down on top of the attackers' heads.
Everyone's making brilliant progress at the moment, Daniel. I think we're ready to give people let's sort of test everyone and see how good you are at terms of security. So for our next part, you're going to need your concentration. You're going to need to be focused on what you're doing, because Daniel, you've got a challenge that you're going to set everyone.
Yeah, so we can see that you've updated, you've patched your software, the honeypots are now activated, and that's great work. You're starting to make the computer systems at Stirling Castle more secure. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a bit of a stress test. We're going to simulate a cyber attack.
So in a moment, you will see a Security Operations Center control screen, and it's got 4 panels on it. Now, the system will automatically detect any incoming cyber attacks that Daniel's going to send in and tell you what to do. And you have to follow those instructions as quickly as you can, but don't make a mistake. It's important to be accurate. So Daniel, you're about to start the attack, but let's get everyone ready, because every time you successfully defend an attack, you're going to get a point. And we want to see which school, which player is going to get the highest points.
Well, the attack has already started, because you never know when the attackers are going to turn up. So I hope you're ready. I can see that quite a few of you are responding really quickly already. So just follow the sort of commands and do whatever it is that it tells you to do. And Craig and I, we can see how you're getting on. We can see your scores. So try and keep going as long as you can.
You tell me the top performance schools, Daniel. I can see the scores 67, 65 and 60. Or we're at 69 now, nice, and 67 as well, 60, 58. Who are these schools that are doing well?
Yeah, so the schools that are doing really well are Braidhurst, Prestwick and McLaren High School. But the people are swapping around all the time. Oh, Hayden at Lochgelly's just entered the table.
Okay, let me know when it stopped, Daniel, and then we'll have a breather before we reveal the results.
I think the cyber attack has now ended. You can sit back, remove your hands from the mouse, and take a second.
Luckily, that was just a drill. You know, and simulated these cyber attacks are really, you know, it's important that companies exercise the responses to these cyber attacks. People do this in real life. They run the tests all the time, and they would measure themselves to see how well their systems perform so that they know how they can improve it in the future. Can you remind us, what did we actually do today? What have been the steps that we've followed?
Yeah, so today you've done lots of stuff. Today you learned a bit about how master masons and architects designed castles with security in mind, all the way from even where they chose to put the castle. And then you found similarities between the security in the middle and then the modern ages. And then you worked as a security architect to implement lots of different cybersecurity features, things like honeypots, intrusion detection systems, strong passwords, things like that. And then you stress tested it. You did an exercise to test these security systems against a simulated cyber attack. Well done.
Well done. And you can play all of our activities on our website anytime on cyberskillslesson.com. We've got more security lessons, but if you're also interested in things like data science, computer science, then defending rhinos, you can do it all on that website.